Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Echo. I may have to eat my own words here because I was complaining about how this game took about 2 hours and 30 minutes to get into its main gameplay mechanic and really was just a walking simulator up until that point, telling us backstory. And now we are kind of into the main gameplay mechanic and we're going to get, I think, considerably fewer walk and talks and just dialogue things. Unfortunately, even playing on easy, these guys are difficult. Now, at this point in the gameplay, if I didn't know that other people, if I hadn't seen other people play this game, and this really is one of those games that is misleading because if you see somebody else play it, it looks interesting, but it doesn't really play that well. Here we have some different green flowers. So here's the deal. They haven't seen me cross water before. Now, why the palace has water, we don't know. There seems to be some kind of level of corruption that's going on that's causing it to both do what we assume is its true function, which is to just bring life back into this place and make it habitable, and then a corruption that is making clones of me that is trying to attack me, it seems. So if I cross the water, the game, the security AI, will know that it's safe to cross the water. We'll see a little echo. When it makes an echo, that means we've done something more than a couple of times, and it's learned from that. We're also in a slightly different area now. This is different tile, and these are silverish doors. The thing here is...
I wonder if it's edible. I'm starving.
Well, Act 2. So should I eat?
Best thing I ever had.
Okay. I assume eating might refill my energy or heal me if I'm damaged. It probably isn't too bad if I taught the AI to eat the fruit. It's kind of not doing anything now. Maybe if I turn the enemy AI into gluttonous creatures, they'll stop attacking me. So I don't know what that was. And we didn't get any conversation about that. This is definitely a different art style, much wider than what we were seeing before. Things are following me all over the place. Problem here is I jump in the water, then it immediately knows it can walk in the water. And I think that's where this boils down to. But if I use the gun, I think they're eventually going to start pulling out guns too, so... The good news is they won't learn this until the area resets, so in theory if I move out of this area fast enough, they won't have time to catch on and follow me. Now we're safe in the darkness, somewhat. They'll still attack you in the darkness, and they still exist in the darkness, like that. And by the way, they look like eating that kind of restored things. Right. Maybe I'm getting increased energy.
They don't mind the water anymore.
So you can see it's making shadows of me running, which is going to speed them up. There's a possibility, I guess, that they would forget about the ability to walk in the water if I taught them a bunch of other things, but I don't think that really fixes the problem. And then we're in a weird situation now where we're really not in a good position to let's go ahead and place the key while the lights are out. Playing on easy there, I got saved. But I think I just lost. So we're loading back to the checkpoint here. So I may have to start playing more cautiously. The longer the lights stay out, the better in scenarios like this, but I don't think that we're going to be in a scenario where we can use that for a long amount of time.
They don't mind the water anymore.
We can try to avoid some people, but they pretty much will get detected. Guess we could do that. And there's like 3 people around me. Oh man, even on easy. Alright. So let's try something here. That one's gonna be dead. And that one's gonna be dead. Reason I'm doing this is maybe there would be a way to run from water section to water section and it not have them learn. So you play it, take it slow here, and then you suffer the problem with that, which is it just takes too long. I did the wrong thing. I've got to remember which button does what. Yeah, see, that just resets them and revives them.
They don't mind the water anymore.
And they're shooting at me. So let's teach them to run instead of shooting. And look, there was a collectible I found. I just wandered across it. I don't think the game gets cheaper. I don't think it gets easier. I think you get stuck. So maybe if I just crawl through the water, they'll just learn to crawl through the water, and instead of walking through the water. But here's the problem with that, is that the slower it takes you to get anywhere, the more time it has to learn. And even on easy mode, you're not in a good position. This is so abrupt. I think they just learned the silent takedown
They don't
function.
mind the water anymore.
So, and that's an energy collectible. And over here we have a tuning fork. Of which we can see there's a decent number of these. So it kind of is obvious that there is some things you could teach it that would be helpful to you. For instance, just eating the grapes or hitting the tuning forks. Yeah, it seems like it might just be easier to go this direction than it is to go to the right side. I have no idea. Like, there's somebody chasing me back behind there. You know, kind of might as well do that, though, is just let it happen. Seems like somebody came through the door, or the door closed on them, and that reset the area. So we get a little bit of breathing room here.
They're getting more capable after every blackout.
I think there's more to it. I have a weird feeling that the palace is registering my moves with those icy holographs. Then using the information to improve the abilities of those things.
A little far between the dots there, Anne.
I just feel like there's some strange rhythm to it. A warped set of rules.
You are definitely disposed to find meaning where there is none. As you say, it's in your genes.
So let's make sure we have all the energy we can. So yeah, I don't want to shoot things, but I may have to shoot things as a last resort. I don't want to run, but I may have to run as a last resort. I don't want to walk on water, but I may have to walk on water as a last resort. So any action you take that's even potentially beneficial opens you up into a danger scenario. Right, so people see me, but maybe they don't know how to open doors. So we might be safe until we open the door. Alright, so open the door while the lights are off and they won't have learned anything. And run while the lights are off and they won't learn anything. So that's an example of them giving me a really easy puzzle compared to the one we just did. And the music resetting each time is gonna get annoying quick. Alright. It wants me. They know how to open doors now. I can't jump that way. We have a chance to vault here. Come on, seriously? Why did that not work? Like, I swear I hit him. Alright. So my understanding here of the rules seems to be misaligned. And I might be screwing myself out of potential safer interactions by just finding collectibles and increasing the amount of energy. So there's totally looking. The music's about to go off. At that point, this is where I'd want to unlock the door. And yeah, if I don't get an increased stamina somewhere, there's going to be problems. These guys at this point should not be able to open doors. And yet they do know how to open doors. So that doesn't make sense. Maybe I teach them to close doors? As a thought. Oh, seriously, game. Jeez, maybe the reason why howlongtobeat.com says that this game has, on average, takes six hours is because people just rage quit it. See, they saw me open the door, but who kind of cares? It might be that something saw me open the door before this point, and as such it doesn't matter. That one walked right on me. Oh, seriously. Oh, this game is a nightmare. Like, it really is. Even on the most difficult, like least difficult settings, it's... You cannot play it the way I'd like to play it, which is to say... see, that's a point where it learned to open doors, but I don't think it matters if you learn or not. So I'm gonna just try to power through this whole section. Just try to... That room has way too many people in it. So what am I not learning? What am I forgetting? We have the gun, we have the crowd control shot, which was what I tried to use. We have the shouting, and we have the left bump. There's nothing in here for them to learn from, and waiting for the lights to go off is kind of ridiculous. But we didn't get an echo there. We didn't get an echo there. So let's see if we can just map things. And see if maybe this is just a better area. Just eat those grapes. Eat them and eat them and eat them. Learn that that's what you want to do. So there it just learned to shut a door. Here we're trying to play as stealthily as possible. Alright. A slide, a run. I think we're not too bad. I think we made it through. But honestly, I do not want this game to turn into puzzle after puzzle where you're just getting overrun and struggling. But I kind of think that's what this is exactly going to be, because I think that's as far as their programming and their setup got before they kind of obviously ran out of time.
They do what I do. They learn from me. I'm certain of it.
We kind of had this conversation already.
But after I've done it and a blackout has evolved them, they do it without hesitation. And you saw how they were trapped behind the doors, pacing to get to me, and after I opened a few and a blackout, it was second nature to them.
So, just sit down and do nothing. Okay. Well, they cross the water.
These are not crossing the water. So much for your theory.
No, that makes perfect sense. They stopped doing what I stopped doing.
So are we waiting, or are we just walking through the water? Yeah, it doesn't seem like the power's gonna go out there. I'm really just gonna make a mad dash to the end of the game at this point. I can't really care enough to try and find all the collectibles that might be hidden around in an area. I mean, it would be nice, to say the least, but it doesn't even feel like too often we are in a situation like this where you can find collectibles while you're actually trying to avoid getting killed. It seems like you have rather quick rising action and rather quick falling action.
I'm curious to learn more about that theory of yours. The one where everything makes perfect sense.
Don't you see it? They unlearn as well. It's all tied to the blackout cycles. When the lights are on, the palace keeps track of my actions, registering what I do with those icy ghosts. After some time, it will reboot to update the copies. That's what's causing the blackouts. I get no ghosts when the lights are out. So my guess is that the palace is blind while it's rebooting. When the lights come back on, their abilities match my actions from the previous light cycle. Well, that would explain why they wouldn't cross the water up there. I didn't touch any water in the light cycle before I reached them.
They echo your behavior.
Yes, echoes. That's exactly what they are.
I would argue it did not really play out that way. There were several light cycles. Like several
They're coming.
Cycles.
Hurry, get out.
Let's go ahead and hit this.
They all stopped.
What are they doing?
Never mind that, just get out.
Interesting. So now these airlocks are a safe loading zone, I guess, into a very different looking area. I didn't think we'd get back to a section that looked like this.
The sphere just turned off. That means the echoes are not coming, right?
You sound like naming them explains everything. To me, the logic of it all only
I'm
makes the whole
locked
thing
into
more
a
absurd.
walk and talk mode.
Someone intentionally designed it to be this way.
I expected there'd be some obstacles to getting Foster back.
You were prepared for this? In your training, I mean.
Gods no. Gramps did talk of great challenges and equally great rewards, but well, I doubt he knew this is what it meant.
You admit he was wrong?
Yes and no. I think he managed to find the words, but not their meaning.
Alright, so now we're out. I wasn't expecting any of this, and It's weird, certainly. It's also very dark to counterbalance the bright whiteness. Now, I was saying originally that this game was kind of about minimalism. Sorta not.
So any
It's still
words in your
opulent.
teachings about who built this place?
That's the thing. None of us ever knew this place existed. He always gestured at a walled enclosure in the uppermost garden when he talked about the palace. I think we all imagined splendid halls filled with the chosen ones who mastered a self-control so deep it could overcome even death.
So he lied to you.
He just didn't get into the specifics. If we passed the trials all the way to the upper terrace, we would be granted access to the passage. The ones who entered never returned to tell.
The translation.
I know that now. Back then, we all thought the passage meant the final test. The big one this time. The flesh and the soul shall enter the palace through separate doors. Only the strong of mind and body will again reunite as whole. We'd seen resourcefuls break during training. Minds or bodies hurt beyond repair.
I can see why you would all strive for that.
That wasn't the selling point. The challenge and reward stuff was. Being a resourceful is constant competition, always performing to the best of your ability. But for one to win, others must lose. And losing often meant a life ending.
Competition breeds envy. It must have been dangerous for you if you really were as good as you say.
Excellence was valued by everyone. The more formidable your competition, the more fruitful the exercise.
Doesn't
In the
seem
end,
like there's
everybody
anything in this area
That's
at all.
quite the social construct, considering the consequences of losing.
That was Gramps' way. He didn't preach. It was pure reasoning. The program made sure all resourcefuls were logically disposed to follow his line of argument to its conclusion. How can you deny perfection?
How could you?
Spontaneity, chaos, life. That's how you prove yourself. Why spend eternity to make the best possible you? Potential without release.
So we've got a different light source here that I can't really zoom in on or look at. It's kind of nothing here. Again, like, if this was more of a walking simulator with just a little bit of puzzles, which then I guess makes it a not a walking simulator but a puzzle adventure game, if it actually has any gameplay in it at all, it really gets away from what a walking simulator truly is, debatably. But yeah, if I was just doing a collection of puzzles and getting the same story, I would be happier than the copy and repeat idea here, because the strategy around the echoes in a 3D environment's frankly a little too much for me to wrap my mind around, and that's coming from somebody who was trained as a computer programmer and like totally gets it. It's well, at least mostly gets it.
Back inside, I guess.
Anne, be careful.
You're not beginning to like me, are you?
It's an awkwardly unfamiliar gameplay style that if we were doing a top-down chess style board game where pawns only learn to move forward when you moved your pawns forward, I would understand that and be able to grasp it. It still would be a weird, awkward gameplay style. But the perceived amount of actions you could do in a game like this sort of boggle the mind. In actuality, there really aren't too many actions that it catches. It just catches walking, jogging, running, eating fruit, opening doors, closing doors, jumping down, sliding across, and any other ability, shooting guns. But yeah, definitely I've also run into a major frustration point, since pretty much 3 out of the first 3 puzzles caused me to die a lot, and And on easy, that's not the experience I want to have. I want
What's
to.
that strange archway?
I want to
It's a
have a
suspended
easier.
Y field. Never seen a vertical one before.
It looks like you're supposed to pass through. What does it do?
Shouldn't do anything. It's self-contained.
Save archives. Let's see. Save arches. If I can read the words. Stepping through a powered Y field arc will create a max. Will freeze a stored map of data from the exact moment. Your archives will save your progress. Well, it was automatically saving up until this point, so why do I have to save now? Does that mean that there's something new coming around the corner that changes things up? We are still with the different tile set, although it seems like maybe they took some of the chairs and things from the first collection of items and brought them to the second. Still getting these fake doors. Right. Alright. So they're gonna learn to jump. And there's only certain places where that's gonna work. The elevator would take me back up. So now we've got some level of verticality here. But I don't know if it really needs. So that guy just jumped. Guy in general, just jumped down. And we don't really want him to know how to use the elevators. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to get down. Notice I have way less energy right now. Alright, so it goes down if it doesn't have a ring around it? Is that the idea? So now they know how to use elevators. I still can't jump down. So they kind of took and gave an ability by increasing the increasing my amount of energy to 3 pills and then taking away the gun shooting stuff. Frankly, I need a little bit more of a map here. Seems like of all the bad options, this is the best one you can do. There we go. Maybe it is something about the suit that makes all these echoes hostile, by the way. This one is straight up chasing me, so we'll shoot it while the light's out. And then we can not really do anything until the power comes back on. So that's one energy pellet. That's two. And we get no beneficial saves anymore. So now they're all coming. So my only hope is to be able to jump. Clearly that wasn't what I needed to do. So I've got to come, I guess, through. I guess what I need to do is probably take an elevator up and create my own checkpoints. Those I don't think are the right way. I think these are. Right. These both seem like they go upward. It's kind of the problem of stealth games in a nutshell, though, is that they are not fun to play. Right in the leg. Once the light goes completely out, then I am taking note to try and just run as much as possible. Let's just hope that this is an elevator that takes me down and out of this area. Again, I would need like an energy field. I desperately need some kind of energy save
Manifest
point.
corruption.
When I walk into it,
It triggered an instant blackout.
Probably to correct the anomaly.
It didn't fix it. It just moved.
So do I want to touch this? Well, that might be helpful because I could then trigger a couple blackouts together and have it not. What's this? Crystal orbs? Let's see. Pick up or just put down by pressing X. When holding a crystal ball, pressing B will not push an enemy but bludgeon instead. The strike is lethal. Distraction, hold left trigger and throw with right trigger. Quick throwing, holding the crystal ball, quick throw. Appears when an enemy is at medium range. Press right trigger to throw the orb. Alright, so we've got a different kind of weapon so that they wouldn't potentially shoot me. Alright, so they just learned how to slide. They just learned how to climb. Come on, come on. I thought this was gonna be a bludgeoning scenario. Alright, where does it want me to go now? It's kind of things all over the place. Yeah, we're in another area where, frankly, it's going to be dangerous to try and do anything for just the high chance of failure. I wonder if it's a case where if I am not specifically like, yeah, I wonder if maybe I'm not specifically doing too much. Maybe it would be a little bit easier. I don't even know what I'm saying at that point. I'm rambling. We need a save point though. This is annoying. Come on, game, give me some kind of save point. They just learned to slide again. I don't know if using the elevators would have been useful for them to learn or not. Is this enemy just straight up holding the key? Seems like they are. Do I get the key? They seem to remember how to shoot. Come on. I would prefer to be able to throw the glass orbs because I don't know if the game knows that I can do that or not. And so we might not be in a terrible position. So clearly there are some preferred actions versus unpreferred actions to try. I think I'm doing a little bit better. We're now kind of getting into a system, but I also think almost certainly I missed a considerable amount of collectibles, and I kind of don't care. And I don't see how you're gonna get a boss fight in this game. Yeah,
More
I
corruption.
think it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So what happens if I touch the corruption while we're in the darkness? Am I absorbing the corruption? Am I resetting the corruption? Am I part of the corruption? I don't know. But I'm kind of happy to touch the corruption each time, just because I know that will be one more reset that might have an effect, but maybe not. A lot of this feels like it's not really following a logical pattern, and more it's just lying to me and is saying that it's following a logical pattern, for better or for worse. Certainly that happens in video games a lot, where they say certain things are happening and it really isn't. And yeah, I'm just trying to continue through this area, which, you know, 3 or are we 4 hours into the game, it's kind of repetitive, kind of dull. I think this is probably as good as a point as we're gonna get. It's weird, they introduced the saving element function, and then we really didn't use it that much. And they also introduced the key element, and I guess that was a boss fight. So if this is really like a 3-act game where at the end of each act you have to get all the keys and escape down an elevator, I guess maybe that would make some sense. They also introduced shooting, and we aren't doing anything with that. They're explaining everything as far as the palace cycles now, and the save arches and the crystal balls. Yeah, and clearly you want to sneak behind somebody and hold down the B button and kill them if you have to, and short of that, use the crystal balls. It doesn't seem like they have learned how to pick them up, and even if they could pick them up, they'd have to go where one was and pick it up, which would be unlikely for them to actually be able to accomplish. Otherwise, the AI in these enemies is incredibly simplistic. It is your standard guard in any video game, walking back and forth on a set path with a cone of vision that if they see you, they'll distract and pathfind off of their set path, and one assumes if you could run away from and escape from them, they might go back to their set path eventually also. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. I'm kind of hoping that there's really only like an hour or two more of this game. I think I've kind of seen everything there is to be seen, and the storyline, I don't know where it really can go here. Either she succeeds in her goal and resurrects the bounty hunter who was sent back to retrieve him, who is now supposedly in the red cube, or she succeeds in some secret goal she has where she corrupts the palace and this was her plan all along, or she just dies, or some kind of bad ending happens like that. I don't really know where the story goes any further. Maybe the grandfather shows up as a character and it's a talking to your creator, talking to God scene. But that's all it really could be. It's just a little bit more story that might be a little intriguing, but I don't think gameplay wise there's any big revelations, or visually that we're going to see any other graphics. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.